team, how you doing? Ray here and here from MotoNZ.com. This is the mighty Beta RR430, and it occurs to me that it's coming up 6 months since Beta handed me over the keys, so to speak, to this bike, and I'm going to have to give it back very, very soon. So I thought on a sunny Sunday afternoon in Wellington, I would bring it out to the Akatarawis for one last time and give you a rundown on what it's like to own this bike for the last 6 months or so. Bad camera angle. And would I recommend buying this bike, I guess, is the big question. This is where we are and where we're heading. We are here on Karapoti Road, right at the car park. My aim for today is to take it pretty easy out to the river crossing and make it up here to Fence Line. And we'll get a good view over to Kapiti Island and the Kapiti coast. That's my thoughts. Let's see how we go. Alright, so we're on the bike and we're making our way in. We might stop in at Orange Hut if we make it that far, and then try and make it up to Fence Line. But I tell you what, in situations like this, days like this, where having a road legal enduro bike in your garage makes sense. I mean, I could have come out here on the Tenere 700, but I've just cleaned it, and I can't be bothered cleaning it again. So I brought the Beta out, down the hill and through the river crossing. Not an awful lot of water in there today. Up the hill. Roll the mirror in because we don't need that. So the Beta 430, 430cc, single cylinder. It's a dirt bike for all intents and purposes. I'll put this through as many different types of riding as I have dared in the last 6 months. I've ridden it into work down State Highway 2. I've done an enduro. I've done a fair amount of this sort of riding, rocky trails in the Akatarawis, and it's a good bike. I've really enjoyed having it. I've done beach riding as well. That was some of the most enjoyable riding I've done this year on any bike. But of course, it was made better because it was on this bike. Got to be careful in here because this is a two-way road. Pedestrians, cyclists, and of course other dirt bikers and quads all frequent in here. And it's a beautiful weather weekend this weekend, so there'll be a lot of people in here. I'm sure we'll see some. The bike itself came on the Maxxis Enduro tyres. They were brilliant tyres, both on-road and off. When I say brilliant on-road, I mean brilliant in comparison to other knobblies. Currently riding on a Metzler MC360 front and a Karoo Extreme, I think, on the rear. Both quite aggressive knobbly tyres. The front tyre, no silica, 100% carbon black, so very hard wearing. Of course, that it does mean that you lose a little bit of ability on road. Insert crash here. And yeah, I did send the bike down the road on the side. I can confirm from that experience that the Beta crashes well. The only damage to the bike was, I'm getting wet feet here, a bit of damage to the end of the bars. Otherwise, no problems at all. Oh, it's a warm day today, and I am getting warm. Oh, it's rocky, rough terrain today. And of course I am riding on my own, which is not advisable because, well, you want to make sure that you know where you're going and what it's like before you do this sort of terrain on your own, I guess. No cell phone reception. Good idea to bring an EPIRB. This, I think, is the worst of it. From here, we go out onto a logging road, which is pretty tame. A few uphills, a few downhills. We'll be right. Alright, that's the end of the first section. Here we go out onto the logging road. This bit's a bit smoother, a bit faster. Still a 30 km/h speed limit out here. Good chance to get some airflow through the bike too out here. One thing I have noticed about the Beta RR430, it does get warm. When you're moving, it's fine. You get into the tight, twisty sections where you get a bit stuck, it can overheat. Could probably do with a couple of aftermarket fans placed on the radiator. It's not the end of the world, but something you might want to pay attention to. Until recently, this was all forestry as well, but they are felling it and clearing it. So here we are at the fork in the road. No entry up there. I don't know if that means now or all the time. What's the river looking like? Oh, they put blocks in. Okay, this never used to be like this. This used to be a literal river crossing. They've put massive blocks in, which makes this river crossing a breeze. Alright, from here, we're going to go up the hill. That's a bit deeper. Up Pram Track. Bit of a hill climb here. Not a hard one, but a bit longer than some hill climbs that you've probably encountered. Here we go, uphill. Gets a bit clayey up here. A bit further. Can be slippery in the wet. Should be alright at the moment. Sharp left-hand bend. And do a bit of a steeper hill climb. And plateaus out a little bit. From here the trail keeps going uphill. Pretty smooth going. So far there's nothing I've ridden over today that you couldn't do on a mid-sized adventure bike, and probably a bigger adventure bike if you were keen and able. But the small enduro bike, I suppose this is a mid-sized enduro bike now, just eats it up. It really is just point and shoot. I mean, you can pick your line, but you don't really need to pick a line. Hello, here's a quad.
I generally go for the line that's less abrupt, less jagged, less rocky. Not that I'm doing very well with that today. But yeah, still going uphill. One interesting characteristic of the Beta RR430, it doesn't have an absolute stink load of power down low, as you'd expect with most single piston machines. Bit of a downhill here. It does like to be revved out a bit, but you put some decent tyres on it, and the weight distribution and the fact that it's so nimble just play into its strengths. Coming up here in a minute or two is an area that I call the slippery hill, because it's rutted out and it is quite slippery, especially when it's wet. You need a bit of commitment to get through it, as I'll show you. You've probably seen it's an area that I've dropped my Tenere 700 in. It's not an area that I like to go through, but once you make it through, it really opens up this entire forest. I've been through it a couple of times on the Beta. Never really had much of an issue, and as I say, it's pretty dry, so we shouldn't have any problems today. Another thing you probably want to know if you're ever looking at one of these bikes, and I'm pretty sure most of the 4-stroke Betas are the same, because they share a lot of the same kind of geometry and everything. I've never melted anything on a motorbike as much as I have on this bike. The exhaust headers stick out quite a bit, and you mount your pants, you melt things on it. I can feel the heat coming up the right hand side of my seat where the exhaust comes out. It's a racing machine. It's not made to be sat down on for long periods, and I am doing a lot of sitting today because I am a lazy rider. But that's something I've noticed. Not really the end of the world. Otherwise, geometry-wise and ergonomics-wise, it's a very comfortable bike. Comfortable? I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but everything's where you would expect it to be. I think this might be the corner I'm talking about. Yeah, it is. This is the slippery corner, and it does look a bit wet. Oh, it's been rutted out something chronic. So we'll just take a second here, I think. So I've been up the right, and something says to you go right, but the trick here, I think, it's not actually as dry as I thought it was going to be. The trick here, and I've had the most success going hard left and up there. I'm always nervous when it comes to this bit because I am out here on my own. I'm not too worried about dropping the bike. It's more doing damage to the bike or myself that I'm worried about. But we'll back up. We'll give it a crack, I suppose. Give it a crack, Nigel. The trick is confidence and commitment. How much commitment do I have? Oh, we almost made that too, damn it. There we go. Not the prettiest, not the most finesse. I did have to get off it and walk it, but we made it. And it is actually quite a bit wetter up here than it was last time I was here. The bike itself performs much better at speed. So you've got to have the confidence to just ride it into situations and know kind of how to get yourself out. Sometimes I lack that. So we spent the last, 20 odd minutes going uphill. Now we're going on a reasonably loose downhill. Nothing for the beater. I mean, it might be the fact I'm not riding with anyone else, but last time I was out here, it was reasonably dusty in comparison. I feel like there's been some people on dirt bikes out here playing. There is some loose stuff around. Definitely some of the terrain here that I probably wouldn't be attempting on the Tenere or any other adventure bike on my own. There's a Tenere 700 down here, I think. Maybe not. No, it's a dude on the Ubco. Trying to carry a trials bike out. Bugger that. Bit of a difference between a Tenere 700 and an Ubco. Have you ever heard of them? They're electric, two-wheel drive bikes. Quite often used in the farming and agricultural sector here in New Zealand. And I think even Domino's Pizza have a few as pizza delivery bikes. Oh, I would not like trying to carry a dead bike of any description out of here. Bit of a rain rut going down here. Always got to pick your line. Never quite know when that rain rut's going to come across in front of you. Think I'm okay here though. We'll cross over now. One good thing about this bike, it's got fantastic brakes. They bite something chronic. It's a beautiful hydraulic lever action. One finger braking. 1 or 2 finger clutch. The clutch is hydraulic as well, and that's really nice. And you really appreciate that when you do get into the tough stuff. Not that I've really encountered much of that here today, but little river crossing. And that might be us pretty much at the bottom of the hill. I think this is the intersection of Rimu Road, which goes around to Hydro, Awesome little river crossing down there. We'll see how we go. We might come back that way. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off for a tick, and I'll come back to you when I've got something to show you. Something else to show you now. Little river crossing. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's see how we go. No worries. Okay, so it turns out, I hope you can hear me, it turns out I may have become completely disorientated, which is very easy to do in the bush here. We may be a lot further through the Akatara Forest Reserve, I think it's reserve, than I initially thought. Here I am barreling down this road, not really remembering much. Thinking, oh yeah, we must be pretty close to Orange Hut, but alas, no. We've gone well past Orange Hut, and here we are, almost at fence line. The Akatara Valley that we just rode up. Check it out. Right, we'll go check out fence line and come back maybe. There's Kapiti Island. That view. We'll take the easy line today. Okay, so we've come down the hill. That way is Upper Hutt, and this is the valley we came up. We came through all these trees to the top behind this hill here. Went around the back and came down on the edge of those trees, on the edge of that spur, all the way down and around behind me, and we're down to here. I'd actually really like to have a go at getting up one of these, what looks like trails have been bashed into the hillside. But I'm just not sure where they are from here. And being on my own, I don't really want to get stuck, so from here I've got two options. We go back up the road up here, we hang a left, we go around to the main road, from the hill we go back up, or we go back up that way. Or my third option, which I was just thinking about, this road actually goes. I think it's a dead end, but who actually knows? Well, probably anyone who's down here knows where it goes. At this point, I think it's pretty hard to get lost. I kind of know where I am and where I want to go. So we'll go up here. loop. We've gone that way to fence line, down through the valley and back up the other side. Okay, we're on our way back down the hill now to that water crossing I showed you before. So we're definitely recovering old ground. But I thought I'd take you in and show you Orange Hut. Right. Hydro, Norm's track. Hydro's the road I know. This up here is Orange Hut. Right team, here we are at Orange Hut. Can you guess why it's called Orange Hut? Yeah, it's definitely not the abundance of orange trees out there. Right, I actually got turned around. So we started here, or here. And we went up Pram Track, which is all well and good. But here is where we actually took a different route. I expected us to go up here, past the turn off to Orange Hut, and then carry on up to that intersection. And that's fence line and the forested area. Sorry, up there, the fence line and the forested area. But what we actually did was down here, took a fork in the road and went up Whakataiki Road to here. So what you do is, if you come in from Paraparaumu, from the Kapiti coast over here, you come in here, Mangakatukutuku Valley, park there, or if you're riding a bike all the way through, you ride up here, and that's where we would have gone if we wanted to go to Kapiti. Yeah, so I actually got turned around. We did this here instead of this here. But yeah, all good. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know this place, Orange Hut. We've brought the T7 out here. We've brought the Tiger out here. I think we've brought the Beta out here before in a video. I'm not sure. But yeah, great spot this. I've never actually spent more time than 5 or 10 minutes here, but good bit of forest, nice and secluded. And I'm actually surprised there's not more people here. The Beta RR430 is doing a great job. One of the things I haven't really tackled with this bike is fuel economy, because you can do open road or around town, but that's going to be completely different mileage to forestry and tracks and twisty stuff. So it's kind of hard to gauge. The little tank, I'm used to a bigger tank, so it does run out on me occasionally. There's heaps in there though, heaps in there, and that'll get me all the way back to home in Upper Hut, no problem. I am going to miss this bike though. I do like it. I would like to keep it. The Italian Stallion, or Pony, one or the other. Right, let's carry on. Okay, this is the slippery hill. So there we have it, team. Bit of a fang out on the old Beta RR430 before I have to give it back to BC New Zealand. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a decent giveaway. I've been talking to a few of my suppliers, and we've got something in the pipeline, don't you worry. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this video with a riding buddy of yours who may like it. I'd really love you for it. And if you've got something to say, I'd love to hear all about it in the comments, whether it be a question or a comment. Where have you been riding? What do you ride? What am I missing out on? I know there's a lot of trails up in the Akataruas that I haven't even come close to attempting. I don't even know about them. Otherwise, team, that's us. Have a great day. Hooroo.